Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Katie O'Neill and oh my goodness, it's so cold out today. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV, and of course everybody's experiencing this great weather. We're so happy to have you. I'm here in Frederick, Colorado at 303-562-8659, and as usual, thank goodness I like to start my RV videos from the inside out. So Jody, please go ahead and take her on back. Today we have a treat for you. I will tell you, it's going to be abbreviated. When you wake up and it's -9, you don't spend a lot of time on these outside aspects of the RV. So I'm sure we'll end up with another video on this eventually, but for the time being, the most important aspect of this coach is to show you how this little powerhouse is so well equipped for anybody who wants to spend a lot of time RVing out there in the world. This coach came from a few professional RVers, very, very seasoned, very, very fantastic. This is Little Dutch, and she is a 3736, which is a Dutch Star bath and a half model. And man, oh man, what a cute coach she is. As you can see, in 2023, they did a whole entire model redesign. The underskirt of the coach was upgraded. They started offering things like lithium-ion batteries. They changed it so that you could Wi-Fi into your coach and use a Bluetooth app. They also changed all of the interior decor, the front and rear fiberglass caps. I mean, so much about this product. And this client was very specific in exactly what they wanted. So this is a very much a special order to the exact degree of what would make RVing perfect for them. Now, just so you know, they did upgrade into a 2026 Dutch Star, or sorry, 2025 Dutch Star. But all of that being said, I think it's a very good, you know, just reinforcement of the product when you see somebody who's going from one product into the next. So that's a pretty happy occasion. Now, first and foremost, this has got a 35-inch radius shower here in the rear, complete with a place where you can lock your husband in if he's getting a little out of hand. No, I'm just kidding. Don't lock your husband in the shower. I do want to show the room in here. So as you can see, it's been stock show, so I've got my cowboy hat on. But as you can see, I've got plenty of elbow room. Ken was pretty tall. Mary, not so much, but plenty of room in here. For anybody to go ahead and get cleaned off for the day. And again, in a bath and a half model, you have to make little sacrifices, and this is a little sacrifice, but plenty of room in the shower. And then you'll notice things like I've got the aquamizer light on. So this does have the ability to hit recycle here so that you can run the water from the 105-gallon freshwater tank back into that 105-gallon freshwater tank, keeping your 75 gallons of gray water freed up. Now, this also has a 55-gallon black water tank. It's got a 450 horsepower engine. It's got 1,250 foot-pounds of torque, and it has a 10,000 pound towing capacity. So all of these things are really, really fantastic on a little tiny coach. Some other creature features that we should mention are things like this cathedral ceiling where you've got this increased height in the coach. You've also got some nice features in that when you have these Dutch Stars, you have some things that you don't see on some of the other product lines, like this full-length mirror, which is just a luxury to have in a coach built into such a nice little spot. Also, this coach has, as you can see right here, heated floors. So you've got your 3-zone heated floors. I have a 2022. This Dometic flush button is a huge improvement in that it shows you when your your black tank is starting to get full or if it's completely full. But more importantly, you can see when you're filling your tank or flushing your tank with this nice hard button. One of the nice features of this coach, I think, is that you still have the manual KIB switches. These are just great because not only can you see them at night, but they're hard buttons. So if you don't have your glasses on, you can actually just know where each one of these is located and what you're doing. I run into that problem a lot, where if I don't have my glasses on in the morning, reading things on a screen might be a little tough. Here you'll see that they did order in the safe. So you've got the safe mounted, and again, this is aluminum C-channel construction. So the safe is mounted there. The drawers down below for all of your linens, all of your dryer sheets, things along those lines. And then here you'll see we also have great storage in the bathroom for anybody who's got a large family that wants to come out and visit them, or if you're taking this out full time. You'll notice also this beautiful toffee maple glaze is all soft closed drawers as well. And again, just tons and tons of storage. I love these little drawers here at the top. I mean, perfect for his and hers. Plenty of room for some towels down below. And then, you know, when they did the Dutch Star renovation, they added some really nice things like this beautiful glass undermount sink, the dark faucet set. There is an outlet here right above those beautiful little subway tiles that you see. Just a very, very decadent look here. And then you have a huge, huge medicine cabinet in the back. And not only does it have two 110 outlets so you can keep your hair dryer, your flat iron plugged in here, it's also got these nice carpet lined shelves here, so you're not going to have those rattles going down the road. Of course, we would be remiss not to show you things like this beautiful, you know, vanity light. All of the sconces that you see throughout this coach are really classy. And then, of course, no RV would be complete for longer road trips without having a washer and dryer. Now, the thing that's so nice about these washers and dryers is you don't have to bring as much stuff, right? If you have a nice washer and dryer in your coach, you can bring a few pairs of underwears and socks, a few pairs of jeans, some shorts, and you can go out for a few weeks. Whereas if you have no washer and dryer in your coach, keep in mind you've got to pack all of that extra stuff. So in the grand scheme of saving room, that is a huge advantage in this little Dutch Star. Also in the grand scheme of saving room, you've got a 60 by 80 RV queen size bed. So this is not a king, it's a queen. And you know, honestly, Mary and Ken were very regular sized people. I think that they very much enjoyed this setup. If anybody's got any reservations, you know, in terms of cuddling with their husband or their wife, it's not your mattress, but for someone like myself, someone, you know, my boyfriend and I, we have a queen size bed at home, so this would be completely fine. This is, again, when you're doing these smaller footprints, so this coach is 38 feet, 11 inches long, your sacrifices have to come somewhere. But one of the things that's nice about this is even though you've got a more petite bedroom, you still have all of the tuck space on either side of the headboard. You still have all of the storage with the 110 outlets up above the headboard. So plenty of room to keep all of your stuff here. You've got the grommets that come down so that you can charge your laptop, charge your iPad, whatever it may be. And then I love this beautiful tufted headboard with, again, that solid toffee maple surround. Really nice solid Lambert-Quins with windows that open on either side. Really big nightstands, so plenty of surface area there. And you'll notice those little cutouts lead you into two 110 outlets as well as USB ports. So you can actually run anything that you'd like to run through there in terms of a cord, and then let it sit on the floor. So if you do have a CPAP machine, there's plenty of room on either side of this bed to keep a CPAP machine. You'll notice that there are two extra chairs, and then all of the things for central vac, because of course this coach also does have central vac, and it has a dishwasher. It has a 43-inch flat screen TV. It is prepped for the second refrigerator underneath, but it's not equipped with it. So if this is a coach that you purchase, you would need to buy a Dometic, but it is pre-wired and it does have that tray. It also has pretty small storage here in the bedroom, which is why that big cabinet in the back is so advantageous. A little extra storage there. But as you can see here, really nice, again, deep pocket, solid maple drawers. All of these drawers, again, are going to be soft close. And then again, ventilation is one of the things that I really, really treasure on these coaches. So you'll notice here, I can push this open and get that fresh air coming through. So that in combination with the two windows that I have opening on the outside of the coach are also very, very useful. Another feature that you get in a Dutch Star, and again, I'm going to do most of this video from inside today. I've got a cold and I'm not going to go hang out in -9-degree temperatures outside. Plus I can show you, look at the wind. Yeah, windy and cold. That's just not a good recipe for us. It's going to be 60 next Saturday though. It's going to be 50 by Wednesday. But so you can see, it's so nice to have these power shades on the outside, so your power window awnings. And again, when you are dealing with things like this beautiful 43-inch flat screen television, it's a smart TV, so all you need is a Starlink subscription and you're going to have plenty of connectivity to watch whatever you like. Our slide control is right here in this back bedroom. Again, we've got our 3-zone heat, so you've got heat control for your floors here in the bathroom. You're also going to see it in a few seconds in the new centralized control center. And then again, all of these KIB switches are so nice. And one of the things that's nice about this is you can go ahead again and see these or know where they are without having to have your glasses on. They all just kind of glow, if you will. So very, very cool feature in that. Now, as we move out of the bedroom, I'll show you first, very nice cabinetry here. The Dutch Star came with this nice raised panel pocket door. So very, very much a sound deadening effect if you did have people who were staying up here in the front of the coach. And then again, one of the nicest features in this 38-foot floor plan is to be able to have a huge amount of storage in your central bath. So again, in 2023, they did some great remodeling. You've got this gorgeous vessel sink, over your countertop. You get a nice pocket mirror there. The medicine cabinet is a nice triangular shape, plenty of room for a flat iron or a hair dryer. You also, of course, have outlets, and then a nice porcelain Dometic again. And this is on a pitched raised level. So for those of you, oh, watch out for your hat, Katie. Gosh, my hat's as big as this door. So this is a test of the door, right? My hat fits through the door. No, so this is actually a really nice setup. And when this is closed, because of the way that it's angled, you have, again, I always like to have plenty of elbow room, plenty of knee room. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, so much additional storage by having all the cabinetry here in this mid bath. Oh, this is the potty button though. This is the one that's on my 2022. This is pre-improvement. You have no idea which button you're pushing late at night. So it's good that the one in the main bathroom is actually not that way. I don't know, can you see in there, Jody? So there's two actual levels of storage in here. So plenty of storage in this coach. And then up here, you've got the brains of the operation, if you will. And then of course you've got your breaker box with all of your switches. Everything is very nicely labeled. So if you do have something that's out, you can take a look and figure out, what the source of it is very easily. And again, this beautiful toffee glaze. This is the low gloss or the matte finish, if you will. So this is not the high gloss either. It's a very warm and inviting and relaxing feeling coach when you come into this coach. And now behind us, you'll see one of the features I really love about this RV. And that is the fact, if you've got, views all around you, why wouldn't you just want to look out the window when you're having breakfast? But if you have company and you'd like to have a little extra room, you have the extra room as well. And on top of it, because of the layout, you also have, again, huge extra storage here. And one of the things that's so nice about this table setting is that those are adjustable shelves. So if you've got a Keurig machine or a toaster oven or something that you need to fit in there, you can adjust those shelves so that you have as much room as necessary. But again, when you're dining with friends, if you would like to take out those 2 additional chairs, you could have this much table space. If it's just the 2 of you and you want to have a little more room in the galley, you can push this into the wall and have this much table space. But again, very, very nice, flexible dinette. Troy Schultz is our rep here at Transwest, and he loves this table. This is his favorite table setting. So again, I'm going to go ahead and put this down or close this in so that you can see when I close the slides how much extra room we'll have. But before we move on, there are 2 110 outlets here. So if you are working from the road, you've got another set of cabinets down below for storage. You've also got another 2 110 outlets here. And again, you've got these nice glowing KIB switches where you can control your courtesy lights, you can control your ceiling lights, you can control your dinette lights. And then up here you have all of this extra room. I know that, that they mentioned that they thought that this slide was a little bit thin in terms of its overall insulation, so they've added some really nice insulation to this upper cabinet as well, keeping the coach that much warmer. It's kind of funny, I really didn't expect Jody to come up to me today before the video and tell me what a nice temperature it was inside of this RV. So a huge testament to Newmar. And you'll note that one of the reasons that this coach is as warm as it is because we use 16 on center aluminum C-channel construction, which allows us to use batt insulation in between that construction. And it also allows us to actually mount these windows to the frame of the coach. So these are not floating in foam. This is actually, if you can imagine, if you had a house that was built, you know, and you were watching it be assembled, you'd see it when they call it in sticks, when you've got those 2x4s sticking up out of the ground. Same feature here, except for instead of being really heavy 2x4s, this coach is made with aluminum C-channel construction, making it much more lightweight and also giving us the ability to set all of these features into these walls so we can have these bigger windows, these bigger openings, but still have the rigidity that we're looking for. And then of course, all of the storage up above. So again, great storage in this little coach. And you'll see in this RV, we have one of the favorite features, the theater seats. So this theater seat option has power theater seats. There is a outlet here in the center for your USB port to charge your phone. There's also a ton of room here, as you can see. All of the storage that you would ever need for some blankets. A small white dog, perhaps. I can't lay down with my cowboy hat on. Boy, did I ever get this color right. You know, every time I do a video, I always have to match the coach. And today was a challenge because it was so cold outside. But I really felt like this is a very, very nice color to be able to walk into. If you have any kind of design sense and you want to be able to change things, one of the things you don't want to get tied into is a whole bunch of really strong, overwhelming characteristics. So you'll notice that even up here on these beautiful maple lambrequins, the edging is just this very soft tweed look, very, very nondescript, very, very easy to match different things to. So, you know, as you're walking through this coach, one of the nice features, if you want to bring in blues or you want to bring in greens or any of those other colors, hot pink, who knows, whatever your flavor is, you could really bring it into this coach and make it your own. And what we've noticed is a lot of people are very much in favor of having the wood where you can actually see the grain in the maple. So this is a very, very nice execution of a very high-end RV. And I think when you see some of these more modern decor features, you know, this backlighting that you got, kind of, I call it this, the Star Trek slide covers. It's nice to have it, you know, brought back down so it's not quite so modern. It still feels warm and homey. Now, speaking of warm and homey, no one's coach would be homey without a 50-inch flat screen TV to watch all of those great movies, you know, while you're home with your family. So this is, again, another 50-inch flat screen TV. You do have a media center here if you'd like. If you want to put a Blu-ray player or a DVD player in here, you're more than welcome to. But again, this is a smart TV, so having a flat screen with Starlink would allow you to really be able to watch whatever you like. Plenty of storage up top for any kind of, you know, games. If you got dominoes, cards, whatever you want to keep up there. For me, that's where I keep all of my RV decorations. We love the subwoofer in our coach. We use it all the time. We probably don't have the TV up very often, to be honest with you, but it's not a big deal. If you are a big TV family, there's a television in here, a 43-inch, a 50-inch, and then another 43-inch outside. Now here in the center, we're just going to go over here, and I'm going to show you a few different places where you have your control panel. So you've got your fresh gray and black water, again, 105, 75, and 55 gallons. You've got your battery power here. You also can control your water pump. You can see what you've got going in and coming out. So we've got our generator running, for instance. You can go in here and you set your generator, your automatic generator start from here. You've got, again, floor heat control, all of your fan controls, of course, one for the rear bathroom, one for the stool room, and one for the kitchen. Your HVAC controls, you've got dual zone. We're running the furnace right now off of the Oasis system. We're running it off of the burner. And again, it's very, very quiet heat. You can't really tell that it's on. Very, very nice way to heat the coach, but you do have two 15,000 BTU air conditioners, and you also have heat pumps. So if you wanted to run heat pumps, you could do that. Of course, at this temperature, they wouldn't get you very far down the road. You'd be better off with a furnace. Again, 2023 brought us this huge screen in the center of the coach, giving us all of the control and also the ability to, control all of our lights in one nice controlled area. So very, very cool feature. And then the reason I came over here to begin with was to put the TV back down. You can get that up and down without having to go to the lazy boys. So maybe your husband and your son are both taking a nap on their recliners. You can go ahead and pop the TV up and do all those controls from the middle of the coach. One thing I'd like to show you and make sure that you note, one of the reasons that they chose our dealership is because of these videos. I think that that's, really how we were able to meet to begin with. But we had another Dutch Star inventory that did not have a TV in the front. So I know that there's different features and amenities that people like. It's important to understand this to Mary was space that she would never give up for her in her Dutch Star for a television. So tons of extra storage up here in this coach. And I really like it when you get close to the front here. You can see how beautiful this wood color is. And then up here, you'll notice, again, very much a custom ordered coach in 2023. You've got your slide control, you've got your awning controls. This again is, you've got 3 awning packages. So I guess we should see if we do this. Jody, I'm doing this awning right behind you. So this is one of the features that's super nice about this coach. So right now I've got the awning tilted just a little bit. So this would be keeping the light out, but if I wanted to get it down a little lower, I could also go a little lower. So I can change the pitch of this awning, and I can also put it up and down without going outside. As you can see, it's pretty gusty out there. And when, it's already 2 degrees and then it's windy on top of it, it's pretty chilly. So it's really nice to be able to control all of these things from inside of the coach. And this is one of the features that differentiates the Dutch Star from the Ventana. Now also you'll see we've got the Razor antenna. This is our Oasis system here. Again, we're running off of the burner. You can see that that's turned on right now. AC1 and AC2 are the other 2 elements that we would be running if we were plugged into 30 or 50 amp. You've got your power control system. Of course, we've got our Magnum inverters. And again, we have the Lithionics package on this coach, in addition to solar, and then also our Girard awnings. Of course, I showed you a little bit earlier with those awnings outside. It's pretty gusty, so we're not going to try to put those out today. But a really, really nice centralized setup. And this is where all of your slide control is. Now, we haven't gone over the kitchen yet, so let's do that first. And then after that, I will show you what it looks like to have the slides in. And I wanted to show you, depending on how you want to keep your chairs stowed, I'm going to show you the walk room that you have with the slides closed today before we exit the coach. Now, up above, tons of storage. Now, I mean, honestly, with all of the storage that you have underneath the buffet, I don't know if you would need to do this. In a number of our coaches, I recommend taking out this cabinet because it's adjustable and keeping your coffee pot and your toaster oven here. In this coach, I would probably keep it opposite of the coach. Maybe use this for bigger pots and pans. Really hard to say. You could definitely move things around. You've got a lot more flexibility in this coach because of that buffet. And then again, really nice to have adjustable shelves so you can pick your poison there. If you want to put olive oil in there instead of, cups and saucers, you could do that. All of your spices can live up here above the whirlpool. And then, of course, this is the microwave and convection oven. I do note that we've moved into an air fryer as well. This coach does not have an air fryer, but it does have all the original equipment that came with the RV. Again, there's no clients that you would prefer to have over Mary and Ken. They were just great RVers, professional. They knew exactly what they were getting themselves into. It was so fun to give them the orientation and treat them like the king and queen that they are. We really enjoyed having them around. And it's just nice to have their coach traded in because it's in such good condition. Now, I know that this coach looks like it's brand new, but it's got 50,000 miles on it. So the deal on this makes it quite affordable as well. And then here you have your removable cooktop. And of course, we like to talk about the fact that you could take this outside and cook, and it would actually still boil water to the exact right temperature even on a day like today, and it would do it without having this be a fire hazard. So you could put a paper towel down on top of this cooktop. I actually have silicone mats that I use for the cooktop I have in my RV and at home that transfer that power magnetically through the silicone mat to the pot so I can keep it from getting scratched up. But again, it wouldn't matter how breezy it was, what altitude you were at, or what the temperature is, because this true induction cooktop works to a specific temperature. If you set it 1 through 5, or you could set it to 360, 400 degrees, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, and get that same consistent output. So for those of you that are chefs, it's a huge advantage. Now, as I put these covers back in, I will show you the covers are in really good condition. Sometimes we get them in and there's like a whole bunch of cross hatching, and they've used them a lot as cutting boards. These are not used very often. So very, very low wear. Once again, for a coach that has 50,000 miles on it, it's got a really, really soft amount of use because you're dealing with people who knew what they were doing. And that's really important, you guys. When you buy a coach, everyone wants to talk about that barn find, but it's not always to your advantage to buy a coach that's been sitting and atrophying for decades on end. It's actually better to have an RV that's been out, that's being used, that we know everything works on, which is what is the situation with this particular little RV. And when I say little RV, I mean, keep in mind the dexterity that you have with a 38-foot coach is pretty fantastic. This can get you into a lot of places that you would not be able to get in with a 45-foot coach. And you still have so much functionality throughout the RV. Now, again, we talked a little bit about the modifications for 2023. Another great feature of this coach is the fact this is the first year that they went to the farm style front sink. So this is got that really nice, again, dark gunmetal finish with the farm style undermount sink. You've got your spray and pour feature as well, and then all of your storage here down below. Nice little pull out here for your supplies, some winterization dripping off of our faucet. This coach is winterized, so thankfully it's when it's in the single digits, you want to make sure the coach is protected. But please keep in mind, whenever you buy a coach from Transwest Trek Trailer RV, our technicians go through this coach and make sure we pressure test all the water lines. We test and make sure the heat pumps are blowing out warm air, that the air conditioners are blowing out cold air, that the refrigerator gets to temperature, that the dishwasher runs. So we go through this entire process of making sure that this coach is really camp ready. And then instead of having you come in and pay for it and saying, good luck, see you later, we actually ask you to stay on site with us to make sure you can run through all of the features in the coach. Marlon will do your initial orientation anywhere from an hour to 3 hours, depending on how much time you need. But then even after you're done with your orientation, we have a whole staff that's designed to support you here. We've got 50 amp parking here on site. If you have questions, we can come down and help you. We are a full-fledged Daimler Elite chassis shop. So this is built on the Freightliner chassis. So those high-level accreditations are called Daimler Elite. That status allows us to have a longer amount of investigative time allocated to our technicians without having to ask the manufacturer for permission to continue on. And of course, this coach has a 5-year warranty on it. So although it's 3 years old, it's also still well under manufacturer warranty for the chassis. And then in terms of the house warranty was expired, but the customers that owned this coach previously had an extended service contract on this coach. So it's all up to date. Everything's working. It's in very, very good functional condition. And also it has a brand new windshield. It had a cracked windshield. It happened right before they were going to trade it in, but we went ahead and had the windshield replaced. So the glass doesn't have any kind of, the kind of pock marking that you get, or what is it called? It's not starring. Sandblasting, I think is the term for a coach that has higher mileage. So this coach has got a brand new piece of glass in front of it. And of course, as you can see, it's a big piece of glass. So knowing that is going to have that nice clear appearance, not just during the day, but also at night when you've got headlights coming towards you, that's a pretty good thing to have. Now, one of my favorite features, of course, is this dishwasher, this refrigerator. I have the same one in my 22 Superstar. I love the charcuterie drawer. You got your same vegetable bins. You got the little Prosecco shelf. We'll give you a new water filter for your door water as well as for your ice. And then, of course, as I mentioned earlier, the coach is pre-wired for that outdoor 3 cubic foot freezer refrigerator combination. But if you don't need it, this is plenty of room. And then, of course, here in the center, we've got really big push to release pantry. And these are full extension, and they also lock into place when you get to here so that they won't come out while you're going down the road. You just push to release and they come right out. And you get 6 of these pantry shelves, so plenty of storage in here for anybody who's trying to get out on the road. And then, as mentioned earlier, you've got your central vac, and you saw the connections down below. Again, super tidy coach, really, really comfortable living accommodations. Oh, I didn't show the couch. I should show the couch. So this is a little jackknife, which pops up and out like this, right? So a little sleeping. And then underneath here, you can see there is a little bit of storage where you could keep something if you wanted to hide something there underneath, all of your gold bullion, you know, whatever it is that you might be smuggling across the country. Okay, so I think what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and put the, oh, well, before we do, let's talk about some of the other upgrades. So another feature that differentiates, especially in 23, the Dutch Star from some of the other products are these larger screens. One of the reasons I mention this is because if you are using navigation and you turn your turn signal on, it's much nicer that it shows on this right screen than taking your map offline. Also, you'll note that this has the 360-degree camera, which of course is an option. There's very few features on this coach that Mary and Ken did not purchase. In fact, I think they bought everything except for the overhead television, to be honest with you. And again, in 2023, when Freightliner updated their chassis, they gave you better steering wheel controls. Oh, the keys are in my pocket of my jacket. It's okay, we won't have to turn it on today. You've got a charging port here for your cell phone. You've got your automatic headlights as well. You've got your pedal control here where you can actually pull these pedals closer and further away from you. So if you're vertically challenged, you can get those pedals closer. If you're tall, you can put them further back. Up here we have our fog lights, our chassis battery boost, our cup holders. We've also got a power window, as you can see, and then we've got power exterior mirror heat. But as you'll note, in this model year was when we went to that stock control for your Alison transmission. So very nice to have stock control on your Alison transmission. Also, you do have a full-fledged engine brake. Of course, the larger your liter size, the better your engine brake. So this is not just a turbo brake like you might have on a 6.7 liter. This is a full 8.9 liter 3-stage engine brake for your coach. So again, just a really nice feature. Also keep in mind that this coach has what's called comfort drive. So as you're driving a very unaerodynamic brick across I-80 in gale force winds, this coach is going to fight that wind resistance for you and keep an electronic bias going straight so that you don't have driver fatigue, which is very, very important. And then down here, little drawers to keep all of your things. I mean, look at how tidy these are. And I have to tell you, like, we've got a pretty great staff here. Mary spent some time cleaning this coach up for our video this morning, and she does a great job. But I mean, you can't hide the wear and tear that you would have on drawers like that if it was in existence. Again, just great people to buy a coach from. And again, with this type of product, if you haven't been in an RV before and you're looking to understand, you know, whether or not 38 feet is going to be too big or too small, this is a great way to get into the segment, a great way to try things out, still having some, you know, majorly important things like the bath and a half, the creature features like having those power exterior window coverings, the big gigantic, you know, dual awnings outside. This is a great way to learn as to whether or not this coach is going to be too big, or if it's not going to be big enough, you don't have to worry about having the dexterity to make that move. And to be honest with you, for Mary and Ken, that's what this coach was. This coach was like, gosh, do we really want to get into a bigger Class A? And the funny answer is they not only decided that they were going to try out the 38, they went ahead and bit the bullet and went to a 43 for their next coach. So going for that even larger bus size after realizing how easy it is to drive an RV like this. So over here on the passenger side, there's also a wireless charging dock and a cup holder. You also have your power baggage door lock, so you can unlock all of the baggage doors with just a click of the button. Your house battery disconnect is right there. And then there are shades that cover all of these windows, so if you did want to black out this coach very easily, you could definitely close up all of the shades on this coach. And I wonder, you know, I should actually know the answer to this. Oh, look, there goes my Supreme Air. So these are manual. So interesting. So a lot of people prefer the manual shades. It's actually pretty hard to find a Dutch Star with manual shades, even though it is an option. And one of the reasons people like these manual shades is because you don't have to worry about trying to find the remote. And I know that that sounds crazy, but if you got, you know, one of those little remotes for your shades and you don't know where it is and you're getting up in the morning and you're in your skivvies, you can come up here and just pull the shades down. If you have power shades, you have to find that remote before you're going to have control in this level. As we move into like the mountain airs of 2026, you'll start to have the shade controls on that center control panel. But in the 2023 model year, before that was a thing, those remotes once again are kind of, well, they're necessary if you want to put the windows down. And if you don't know where that controller is, that can be a problem when you're trying to get up and make coffee in the morning. Okay, so let's go ahead and try the slides now. Oh, I'm going to wait for you, Jody. That way you can turn around. Jody let me hold the gimbal this morning. It feels like you're drunk when you have to like hold it. I don't even know how he does it. He's so amazing at making it look easy. Oh, you can just feel how cold it is outside, huh? There we go. And I don't mean it by the temperature coming into the coach. It's just the sound of those poor slides been sticking out in that really freezing cold air. I cannot wait for this storm to pass. I'm happy that we finally had a little bit of snow, but I'm ready for it to be 65 degrees again. All right, so there's one. And then let's go ahead and bring in the other.
Start drunk.
What was that?
Just start out drunk.
Yeah, you start out drunk and you don't have to worry about the gimbal keeping up with you. Yeah, it's really quite the trip to see how this thing, because everything you do, it just kind of lags behind your movements. It's pretty interesting to see how this whole thing works. Oh, you know, I don't think that slides all the way in. There we go. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting to see how talented you have to be to actually get the gimbal to do what you want it to do. So, am I all the way in? I don't know. It feels like I'm just not all the way in. Let's just take a look. Maybe. Okay, so walking room. Again, with this table here is so much better. And then as you can see, you still have access to your bathroom from this area. Is that good? Okay. I have to be careful because I've got my mics on and is my hair rubbing over the top of my microphones? Okay. It's always a dance with the microphones, especially when you have to put a coat on. Okay, you guys, we're going to keep this quick. So we'll start off at the front because we're going to talk about our Silver Star headlights. Before you go out, Jody, let me just show quickly. Oh my God, it's so cold. You've got storage here underneath. So if you've got any fine furry friends, great place to be able to keep some dog food, some leashes, whatever it is that you'd like, or you could just use it for boots. And again, we've got an 8 kilowatt quiet diesel generator on anything that's 40 feet and below. The 43s will have a 10 kilowatt. Again, improved headlight systems this year. This is stock number 5U251404. Again, 5U251404. And please note that you can see the overhead camera system. You've got the Mobileye, and then you also have the on-guard collision mitigation and all those safety systems, as well as integrated side cameras. Really nice chrome steps that fold away. You've got your nice Michelins here. These are going to be 22.5. And please keep in mind, when you purchase a coach from Transwest, we will never sell you a coach that has tires that are more than 5 years old. So regardless of whatever you're shopping for, if they're right at that 5-year mark, we're going to give you new tires. Oh shoot, I should have left the slide out so you can see how much this extends. So this extends past this whole entire slide. Again, as I mentioned earlier, this is all pre-wired. And then here we have our 43-inch flat screen television, our sound bar, and this is a pretty generous amount of storage for a smaller coach. As you can see, when this goes back, you still have some storage next to the Oasis system on the other side. A great area to keep any kind of supplies that you need for keeping the coach up to date. And then back here again, another smaller area, but still with a nice MoRide slide there. And also you'll notice that we have our vacuum cleaner accessories here. Another feature worth mentioning on this coach is that because this is the Dutch Star, your color match goes all the way from the outside. And just so you know, the color of this coach was quite popular in 2023. This is called Allura. Again, we had the toffee glazed maple suede finish cabinets, and then the interior was the dolly. And again, one of those features of this coach is the fact that the wheelbase on this coach is 242 inches. So a tiny, tiny little wheelbase on this RV. And again, 450 horsepower, 242-inch wheelbase. And I do want to just pop my head in real quick and look and see. This coach has a 4,228 pound carry capacity on it as well. So plenty of room for you to get all of your stuff in here in a tiny little package. Lots of dexterity in terms of park access. It gets into all those big Newmar country clubs. Also will get you into a lot of those state parks that have 40-foot restrictions. If you haven't had a Dutch Star before, the independent front suspension, you know, paired with the V-Ride in the rear of the coach, it's just a really, really nice driving way to start off on your RV experience. My name is Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live in very, very chilly Frederick, Colorado. You can always reach me at 303-562-8659. Let me know how I can get you out on the road and camping.